So first I want to say congratulations on this film, but also congratulations on your Critics' Choice Award nomination for Best International Feature.
Thank you very much.
What I love about this film, I watched it last night, and it really kind of knocked me out. Because it ends on such a beautiful, hopeful moment, but it's almost like a horror film when it begins. I was extremely unsettled by it. So to start, I want to hear about you tackling the kind of opening sequence. And especially the camera work, I think, is really interesting because you really put us in Bélén's shoes, and we get to see the experience, but also the setting in which she is in is so unsettling. So I'm very curious how you tackled that without making it too severe, but also making it seem like, we're there and experiencing what she's experiencing.
Yes, it was difficult for me to imagine how to tell that tragic night, like in a way that you will not feel that all the movie will be a tragic movie. And of course, the camera from behind puts you in a subjective view that anyone can be that character. I am not in the face of her anytime till the end. So anyone can be Belén. That was the idea, the beginning of this, how this long shot started in my mind. And then, of course, playing with the camera and doing all that tricks that we have to do to make it all together. And then I had to cut it, though. I couldn't do it in one shot. It seems like, so it doesn't matter. But for me, it was very important to put it in a first moment to enter to the universe, and then 2 years after, you breathe in a way, because starting alive, the movement starts, no? I chose that to like a kick in your face, but then you will breathe.
Yes,
so,
yes.
so
very effective, and thank you for the time to breathe afterwards. So can you talk a little bit about your connection to this story in particular? I know there's a moment where you won an award, I believe, in Argentina, and you mentioned Belén as someone that you were standing in solidarity with, I believe.
Yes. Yes, the crazy thing is that that was in 2016. I wasn't a director in that moment. I won an award in an international prize abroad, Argentina. So that I put the sign of freedom for Belén in the when I won the award. And there in the ceremony was the producer, Leticia Christie, that ended being the producer of the movie, that bought the rights of the book that came out in 2019, Somos Belén, de Ana Correa. Leticia Christie bought the rights to develop. They started developing, then the pandemic came. Then I became director with Blondie, my first movie. And so Leticia asked me to do the writing, acting, and directing in this one also.
All three at once from the beginning.
Yeah. Megalomania.
Yeah.
Yes. Why not?
I mean, yeah, it set you up. Yeah.
Yeah. So for me it was amazing because it was el punto de partida.
The starting point.
Starting point was that event long time ago, and now we are here like 10 years after.
Yeah, but once you started, I read that it was a very fast process.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
We did it, we finished the movie like a month ago. Wow. No. But we shot it, we ended the shooting at the end of March this year.
Yeah.
And then the editing was 2.5 months. In the middle, I did an acting job in Chile, and then come back to end the mixing, and then we finished, and the opening was the 18th of September, and the 21 we were traveling with the movie to San Sebastian Film Festival for the competition, and here we are. I thought in October I was going to be in holiday, and I have an LA holiday.
Exactly, yes.
Nice.
Oscar season, yes. I'm very curious what it means to you that this is the Argentinian submission, because it's so much about recent Argentinian history and fighting against something that was very oppressive by the government in a way. Have you found any pushback, I guess, within the country, or was there people who were like, this is an odd choice for this submission?
I think it was, we were like under the carpet. We did it like in a very quiet way,
Right,
the movie, and we did it very quickly. So it wasn't too much time to figure it what will happen, but nothing happened.
Right. Yeah.
For now,
Yeah.
I don't know, but no, it was very quickly everything, and of course being the representants.
The submission, the Argentinian
To have the Argentinian submission for us, the best thing of that is makes people being more interested in watching it. That is for me the best thing, because when you see the movie, then you can talk about it, recommend it, like, and the movie does its job itself.
Yeah. I'm very curious too. You're obviously you're telling this true story about this anonymous person. So, can you talk about a little bit about the artistic liberties you felt like you were able to take with her story, but also the high stakes of sticking to the true history, the true story, how you were able to balance that?
We were in contact with Soledad Esa, the real one, all the time. She was there for us all the time. Whenever I needed her, she was there. So I was very, I felt very free to do, because she was very trustful with me, and she was very open, and she was telling me everything about herself, any question I have, religion, being a wife and everything, and she was very there for me. So I felt really free in order to imagine whatever and merge like her personality with mine, and ironizing a little bit the religion, how the jokes about it, and she was very open. So I felt free to do it. Of course, the real case has the details that had como estricta, o sea, el caso real tiene hechos estrictos que respetar.
Of course, the case itself, the real case, has its certain like legal aspects that we had to follow. And
yeah, but that was sustaining everything. But over that, we were free to invent all these realities, like a mother that is a lawyer, a worker, a wife, and plus that she had to attend a case, an emblematic case, and how she does it, and how friends, women friends are, like the details of the jokings and everything, and the pressure she felt, Soledad, to release her, and how to manage the tension in the movie. Of course, the real case is a real case, but the challenge was to convert it in a cinematic event. So and I think we got that. Like the movie catch you and never let you out till the end.
Yeah.
So that was the challenge.
Yeah. You talk about kind of the women in this film are so incredible. I mean, I think it's so interesting because she, Soledad has this kind of built family that she's made for herself. Family, but coworkers, colleagues, who are part of this bigger mission. I think that this is just one case of many cases for her. What I thought was really fascinating is that outside of that group of people, the women that we see in this film, the Argentinian women, are very. It's shocking to see them be like, well, BELÉN did something wrong. It's really it kind of blew me away, the cultural aspect of. I think that's the other part of the horror aspect of, for me, is that you could look at this story and say that this woman did something bad, and not something bad happened to her. I'm very curious about navigating that, about having these kind of supporting characters who are really strident about this very controversial topic in a way that I think is very shocking to me as an American, maybe, if that makes sense.
But what is the shocking?
I think it's the shock that I think here in America, it's shocking to see, I think, on film, women not support a woman in this situation.
Yes.
Is that what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
it's not, I
perfect.
mean, obviously there
No, the
may-
amazing thing
Yeah.
in the real case is that the first lawyer took the
Yeah.
case because the state put her in that place with a file that of course, she didn't read.
Right.
And with the same file, without adding any proof, nothing,
Mhm.
Soledad Esa released her in 4 months. So the importance of perspective and racist, you know, isms.
Yes. Yeah.
All the problems that a woman poor in Tucumán without resources, you know, and how a woman for an obstetric emergency is guilty of in any case in that city.
Mhm.
That was amazing, and I didn't know. I knew like 2 weeks ago that it was the first time in history, I don't know, in Argentinian history, that the judge, when he sentenced her to 8 years, he uses a quote of the lawyer that was the defender
Mm.
to blame her.
Right.
You know, so it's
Right.
insane. All the case is insane. She
Yeah.
was locked up like 2 years for 4 months, that in Argentina is allowed without a trial.
Right.
As soon as she had to be sentenced, well, they did it like in 2 days, and she was convicted to 8 years
Yeah.
with a person that went to see her once in 2 years.
Mhm.
That is the lawyer. And that is still like this in this town, you know. The lawyer, she retired, she has a retirement. The judge are in the same roles that were in that time, you
Mhm.
know, like attending cases. So we have the movie, but the reality is still horrifying.
Yeah. I think of something like, I don't know if you've seen The Handmaid's Tale, which
Yeah, of
became,
course.
yes, it became obviously a very
Yeah.
big thing here in the States, especially
Yes,
after
yes.
Trump's election. And I think watching this film, what really I thought a lot about was that this is very recent history, and it feels like so much more, the oppression of women, I think, feels so much more banal and everyday and not, you know, fantastic in the way that show depicts it as this, you know, dystopian reality. I feel like this is the dystopian reality that we have to worry about, especially here in the States with reproductive rights. So I'm very curious, you know, if while you were making this and you were thinking how the parallels maybe of Argentina at this time with other places like the United States today, where, you know, there's a case in Georgia where a woman
Yeah, I know.
was basically
And accused by her
accused.
partner.
Yes, exactly. I mean, was that ever on your mind as this being a global issue, or was it always very much like, this is, you know, where I'm from, my country, and the people that I want to represent with this film?
Like the talent of the movie, it's to arrive in this moment. We can't
Mhm.
control that
Right.
in any ways, no? But it's amazing how in this moment that the right wings are arrasando con todo,
They are taking over.
Mm.
taking over everything. This movie appears, no, to say stop. We can be together. We can reunite. We believe in the collective work. We believe in the power of everybody together to say stop to anything we should say stop, like the immigration problems that they're going on here in U.S. They're amazing, horrifying, terrible. Soledad Esa, in these days, the real one, she's attending a case of another Belén in the same city 9 years after, you know. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised with nothing. Like this Handmaid's Tale, you believe that it's never possible to be real,
Yeah,
that story
yeah.
in a way, but then suddenly you started seeing these things that they're separating families. They took the babies to shelters. What is happening in the world? We don't know.
Mhm.
What we know is that we can do movies that talks about things that is important to don't forget. You know, don't forget that we can do it if we are together, woman, everyone.
Mhm.
You know, in any case, in any fighting for any right, human right. So I think it's a tribute to this force that we have when we are together.
Yeah.
And it's important to visibilize, visibilizar,
To make visible.
to make visible this injustice, because it could happen to anyone nowadays,
Mhm.
and for anything. So I think that's why ends like celebrating the movie, you know, because I think that those people that were there in the moment that the abortion law went out in Argentina, we deserve, everybody that were there deserved a reminder, tribute also. We were 6 million people in the streets, so that is ours, of any society that wants to be together against these monsters, you know.
Yeah, yeah. I want to talk too about Soledad Deza as a character. You talked about, you know, her religious perspective, which I thought was a really beautiful thing, and and makes her such a complex character too. And I love that the scene where she's like, "Well, I believe that anyone has the choice to make for themselves. It's not about what she believes personally as a religious person. It's just like this is just how this world is." I would love to hear you talk about maybe coordinating with her, talking with her about kind of figuring out who she would be in your personification of her, but also what made you excited to play her.
I met her when the book of Ana Correa went out in 2019, because I was in a chapter talking about the actresses that put BELÉN in the international press focus. And at the end of the presentation, Soledad Esa came behind with BELÉN, the real BELÉN were there, to thank me because of that gesture. And when I saw her walking through the public, like tac, 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 tac. And I say, oh, and when I saw her, she's like this, and she's skinny, and smoking all the time, you know, with the glasses here, like, so that's how I met her. Then she was very open with me and everything. Of course, the religion thing, she uses, there is this organization in Tucumán called Catholics for the Right to Choose, that she was in that organization because was one of the ones that were doing activism for the abortion law. But it's not because she was very religious, you know. I was very religious in my childhood, so we mix like things to ironize ourselves, because we can laugh ourselves, because Soledad and me, we can laugh about ourselves. So I think that layer of religion mixed with injustice, that for a person of faith, it's very important to defend someone that is living an injustice.
Yeah.
But an abortion situation, there's a language particularity that is here in US. You have abortion and miscarriage, so it's clear, no? Abortion, you make it an order. Miscarriage, something that happened. In Argentina, it's only abortion. So it's like she had an abortion. You know, it's not a miscarriage.
Right.
Then you have to explain that it's an aborto espontáneo,
Spontaneous abortion.
Yeah.
so it's you know, from the language you are already guilty.
Yeah.
You know. But what we were talking about?
Well, her as a religious someone who
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's, I think, and of course, it happened like when you are a lot of time with a friend, and then suddenly you started talking like your friend, or that energy that your friend have started to merge in yours, and then both are like look alike or talk alike. that happened with Soledad, and she was very impressed. And of course, when you write your material, the one that you're gonna act or direct, and if you wrote it, it's like something that it's in your inner space.
You already had it.
You know,
by the time
you don't have
started
to think
acting.
about it when you do it
Right.
too much. But it was amazing that she saw the movie and she was like very impressed by the how do I look in some moments of the movie. She really felt identified.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, there is, you talk about kind of her being able to laugh at herself, at the religious part. That's just as one example. But there are moments of levity in this film that come, and I think are important. They need to be there, because otherwise, as you said at the beginning, it would be a very heavy film. And so I'm very curious about where you found it important to put those kind of lighter moments, especially among the women, because I feel like that, you know, the women spend so much of their time organizing for really important causes, and they need to have moments where they can enjoy themselves among each other.
Yes, and we really wanted to show that, you know, like these layers that we all, the woman, of course, Soledadesa in particular, has to cover, you know, like wife issues, mother issues, woman, worker, lawyer, you know, a lot of things. And laughing about that we can do like 100 things at the same time, and it's like a multitasking situation that we are used to it, and we use it because I feel like directing is kind of that, you know, like these multitasking minds that can think in too much things at the same time. And of course, the rewriting of the movie, it's in editing. So when I felt the pressure of the movie, or you know, had to go hide, well, we manipulate, of course, some scenes and moments to make it happen this way. But in the script, we have the Gangnam Style, of course, and well, the TV show, and you know, but in the real case, as soon as they realized that they had to release her, they took the newspaper 2 days before she was going out. But I put it before, the pressure came before, so things like that. But everything you see in the movie, it's real. It's like a poetic justice, because everything happened, like between she was released till the abortion law went out. A lot of things happened like that. Like we were gonna tell in the TV host, the woman that is saying the theory of the puppies, it was a senadora, female senator in the Senate, when she was arguing against the abortion law, saying, if you have a dog and it's pregnant, why don't you give the puppies? And she was saying this in the you know. So senador.
That's wild.
So
Yeah. Well, before we wrap, you know, one last question for you. This is your second feature as a director. I'm very curious, what did you learn on this film that maybe you didn't experience on the first film that you kind of will take onto whatever you do next?
I learn a lot of things. You learn all the time. It's a much bigger movie. I really like to do a loving exercise with communication with the team, with all the parts of the writing team, the crew, the actors. And I think that is the most important thing to do in a movie, to be like, to make all the people believe in the movie, and para darles lugar a que para que sean parte del proceso creativo.
Make room for them to also feel a part of the creative process.
So I did that in the first movie. I did it much more here because it was a bigger crew, but I believe that that is the way that I like or I need to act, you know, plus directing, because I am there sustained by all these people. So what I feel and I felt in that moment and now and all the time is a thankful feeling of you know, this gift that these people are. I think it's different if you're an actor and you study directing, because all the time you are a tool for the universe of others, and then suddenly you are doing your universe plus acting it. So you need the people to be very like entregado y contento.
To be invested and happy.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the communal spirit also, I think, it reflects what this film is about, too. So it's kind of perfect that way. Well, thank you again for sticking
Thank
around.
you.
And
Thank you very
all.
much.
And congratulations.
Thank you.